Hey guys, Stealth here. I'm starting out with a new XCOM playthrough, and that means modded versions. So, here is the list of mods that I'm using right now. I've been playing with these a little bit to just try them out, see if they're stable, and most of them seem to be working just fine. Starting off, Long War Toolbox. If you have been playing XCOM before, you know that the Long War guys made an amazing mod back in the day, and they even started their own studio. Right now, the Long War mod gives you a couple of more tools and more options. The Not Created Equally perk that you had in the base XCOM, Hidden Potential, Red Fog means that if guys get hit, they are not that likely to start shooting straight, and some other stuff that is very, very interesting or that makes the game a lot more exciting. Next up, Mission Award Variety. This one adjusts the mission award screen, and the mission awards are now far more interesting. Normally you get these did the most damage, hit the most shots, etc. Right now you got a lot more different rewards and a lot more different tooltips here. Hates stun lancers the most, for example, Sergeant Abraham Grandpa Simpson, and so on and so forth. Moving on, expanded mission names. Sometimes the mission names are just, well, they're randomly generated, they're not too interesting, and this mod will change that. Next up, this is the Infantry class mod. This is a really powerful class, and they have some really nice weapons and there's some nice perks that you can get on them. Let me just bring that up. We got the Light 'em Up skill, which is their base skill, so these guys immediately can fire twice. Next up, they also have, let's see if I can get a good overview of their entire list of skills. Not entirely. These are just screenshots from single lists. Anyway, these are going to be very, very good troopers. A lot of very powerful weaponry and a lot of very powerful perks and skills they can get. Moving on to the next mod, which is Squad Cohesion. Now, I'm a bit hesitant about this mod because sometimes it seems a bit flaky, but most of the time it works perfectly. What this thing comes down to is that if you have guys which are operating together for more than one mission, they're starting to build squad cohesion. And the more squad cohesion, so the closer their friendships, the better these guys will perform in combat, which could be a really useful perk. And of course, it also creates a feeling of family, a feeling of a team. Then the first of a couple of map packs that I have installed. This is the Maps by Vosati pack. A lot more different environments for me to fight in. This one, for example, looks a little bit like those two bridges where you assault the initial position. You assault that, I think one of those biolabs. Some other facilities here, some other types of environments, and it just makes the game more varied. Grimey's loot mod will adjust the way that loot works in the game. Normally, you just pick up loot such as alien data pads, scopes, maybe adjustable mags, stuff like that. Right now, you also get alien strong boxes and sometimes an alien lockbox. These things are usually they contain specific weaponry, legendary weapons, or at least improved weapons. So you can pick up a weapon that already has a couple of attachments, and there are some really, really nice weapons. On the screenshot, you can see that the legendary plasma weapon, the legendary plasma rifle or legendary storm gun is inside one of those loot boxes, or can be. And unlike most playthroughs where you can only have 2 or maybe 3 upgrades on a weapon, this one has 4. So improved scope, or superior scope, actually improved aim, a repeater, a smart tracker which decreases the graze chance, very, very handy. And for example, an advanced belt feeder to provide uses of saturation fire. This is one of the most interesting mods that I have come across. They just make the game so much more diverse, and it really gives you another bit of boost to actually go for those loots, to try and hunt those down before they disappear. Next up, this one will make the game a lot harder. I have been quite frustrated with this mod in the sense that even at veteran I could barely make it through the game. The A Better Advent mod is going to add a lot of new classes, but it's also going to give an overhaul to the AI so they know how to use those classes and how to adjust their tactics to just match mine or overcome mine. This mod, while there's not too much to tell about it, is gonna make my life a lot more difficult on this one. Next up, Sword Rebalance. The Sword Rebalance mod does exactly what it says on the tin. It makes the swords a bit more usable, because overall, if you are progressing through the game, a shotgun ranger seems to be more effective than a sword ranger. And in this situation with the Sword Rebalance mod, that is no longer the case. The Sword Rebalance mod will allow you to use a Sword Ranger. Then, True Concealment. I found this thing to be almost critical when I was using the advanced or the better Advent mod. Because what True Concealment does for you is start mission timers only when you have been detected. So for example, a protect mission or a grab the VIP mission usually has a countdown timer where you have to do it inside 10 turns. But that counter does not start until your squad has been detected. And by doing that, by adjusting the game that way, it makes it feel more prepared. It gives you more time to set up. And it also gives you a lot of mobility, a lot of freedom to actually get in and around all of these Advent patrols, because trust me, there are going to be a lot of them. Up next, World Expansion Project Advent. This is yet another map pack, which will again give quite a few more different terrains, so that again should make it more interesting. I forgot one. The Trooper is another custom class, and the Trooper is pretty much a frontliner. It has some really powerful features, and what I have found is that it seems to be matching the Gunslinger in some regards. And it seems to be a support troop as well, because the Trooper has a quick draw as a start, so it can fire the pistol twice, which is something that is, I believe, a tier 4 or maybe a tier 5 skill for the Gunslinger. You get Lucky Shot, which is always going to guarantee a hit. You can pick Mark Targets to make your targets more likely to get hit. Lethal Shots, Armor Padding, and so forth. We're going to see this thing, or we're going to see these people as we progress through the game. Then, a tech tree is not exactly in the game, but with this mod you can at least have one. It's not looking particularly beautiful, but it will make it a lot more clear to see what your research is going to lead to. So you can start planning ahead instead of just randomly picking research and hoping for the best. The next mod is Stop Wasting My Time. Sometimes XCOM just has a lot of animations, a lot of stuff that you think, oh, just move on already. This is going to make that not take as long. So it's the Stop Wasting My Time mod. Then, Soldier Fatigue. Fighting these guys, fighting the aliens, or as they say here, liberating the planet, is hard work. So my guys are going to be fatigued, which means I can use them, but they're not going to perform as well, or if they are fatigued and get taken on a mission, they're going to start getting wounded. So they're going to be artificially out of action. That means you're going to have to rotate your rookie pool or your true pool a lot more than usual. Next one is show enemies on mission planning. Sometimes you have the shadow chamber operational and you look at the map and you go, oh right, I got these, and these guys. And then you go into the mission and you go, which were these again? This is going to help make that a lot easier. Because with this mod, you can exactly see how many enemies there are and exactly what you need to bring to best counter that threat. Then, the next mod. A bit of camo, so a digital camo pack to get a lot more camo for my guys. Yet another new trooper class. This is the Rogue class. I really enjoy using these guys because they are very, very flexible. They are extremely fast because most of the time they carry a submachine gun. And it gives them a lot of mobility. And with the blind side, that's their first perk, they get a flanking shot bonus with SMGs. So these guys are specifically designed for the SMG. They have a couple of very interesting perks, but I haven't really used much of them yet, simply because I didn't go down the tree that far with these guys. I haven't been playing the game that much or that far. Overwatch All or Others is going to allow you to quickly, with one key, tell your entire team to go on Overwatch, instead of having to go through every single one. More squad size upgrades is going to allow you to get large squads, and I'm talking 8-man squads. And of course, with the the Long War mod toolkit, you can adjust this thing even further, and you can possibly get squads of up to 14, but I'm going to go to 8 maximum. Those should be large enough. Mission time remaining adds a little bit more information to the standard information panel where you're picking missions. You can see how much time you still have left before those missions expire, before you really have to get working on them. Again, a little bit of extra useful information. Yet another maps pack, so we get 3 map packs in here. Lifetime stats is going to show you exactly what it says. How much has a specific character done or performed in their career? How many kills, how many shots, how many hits, crits, etc. It's going to make it a bit more like a sort of combat record, I suppose you should call it. Then, free camera rotation to allow a little bit more angles than the camera usually gets. You usually get 90 degrees, but I believe that this thing conflicts with the Long War toolkit, so I'm going to have to adjust that in-game. The Elite Viper is a new type of alien. I have not encountered it yet, nor do I really want to, because these guys look intimidating as hell. They probably got some really powerful weaponry. I'm not sure about their skill set, and we're just going to have to find out about that one in-game. Custom bandanas, armor colors and patterns, again more customization. Configurable protect device will make those devices that you need to protect through several missions a little bit more survivable, so that especially later on in the game they don't 2 or 3 shot that thing. It gives you a bit more time to actually get to the position and start defending it. Then, black market usage. This is a really useful mod in the sense that on the black market you can see which items are and which are not used for the black market. So what can you safely sell and what can you not safely sell? For example, Elerium crystals, as it shows you here, they're used for exosuits, spider suits, plasma rifles, etc. So you may want to reconsider selling these things. And sometimes you just don't know exactly what stuff is used for. This mod will fix that for you. Then we're almost done. We have the Advent Psi Operative. Again, I'm happy that I have not encountered this bad boy before, because from what I've seen, they have some really powerful abilities. But again, I have only seen that in the description of the mod, not actually in use. Soulfire does damage. Insanity turns people into an immediately panicked state. Psi-reanimate, this is the same that the sectoids have. Mind control. And Solace means that they can run past one of their allies and immediately neutralize any kind of psi effect you have applied on them. Then, additional mission types. This is going to make it a lot more interesting, a lot more varied as far as the missions themselves go. Because, for example, this one is not just a terror mission, but it's a defend haven / siege mission. Of course, haven's location, so it's actually a siege mission. These things are incredibly hard. When I first encountered one of these, I was utterly unprepared. I had a squad of 4 guys, and I kept getting reinforcements. I think that at the end of the mission, and that's just because I evacuated the last survivor, not because I managed to win the game, I had lost, I think, 9 troopers, and yes, that's through all the reinforcements, and the last trooper standing was a rookie, with about 14 to 15 Advent troopers closing in on him. So this should make for some really, really tense missions. Then, page 2, a couple more. We have additional dark events to again make the game a bit more varied, because as you have been doing more playthroughs, you're probably going to recognize all of the dark events, and you're going to go, yeah, well, I know these things. How about smart rounds, for example? Advent tests out prototype smart ammunition, giving some Advent soldiers better aim on missions. Not something I want to have against me, and that's just one of the dark events that we can see. Then, the squad side fix will allow the sharpshooter to get a few more, or actually not just this sharpshooter, but it will get the right squad fixes, or the squad side fixes for some of the classes. I haven't exactly used this, but anything that says fix is usually a good thing, and we'll just have to see how this exactly works in game. Moving on, the Advent Officer is now given the ability to call in reinforcements. Now, I'm not sure if they're actually going to need that, because we're going to see a lot of Advent reinforcements because of the the Advanced Advent mod. So this should make it even more challenging. The Advent mech of the Breacher class. Again, I have not encountered this yet, but it seems to have quite some new abilities. Of course, we got the standard abilities, the micro missiles and the suppression, but I have not seen it with a flamethrower yet. Nor would I like to see that thing up close. As the description states, it's supposed to be a new threat that may or may not be needed. Late game, something more than just gatekeepers and sectopods. So these are probably going to have a lot of health as well. Then Advent armor, because Advent should have some armor. Or actually, no, sorry, I can create the Advent armor for my own guys with that. Bit of a mistake there. I can create the own Advent. Mod Everything is a mod that allows you to do, again, exactly what it says. It allows you to mod absolutely everything, including, for example, your drones or your sidearms or whatever. All of those can be adjusted. You can, for example, put a repeater on your favorite pistol and just hammer away with a pistol like that. It could be really useful in tandem with, for example, the trooper system or the trooper class warfare. Then we're almost done. I have a Deadpool voice back just because I thought that was interesting. This one I don't actually need anymore, the legacy version. New alien class of the Advent Sniper. I have faced these guys a couple of times. They are really hard to get rid of because normally Advent does not run away very far. These guys do. They run away as far as they can possibly go. And once they're there, they're going to start sniping your soldiers as you're advancing. So this is basically a complete reversal and really, really tough to kill off. Then the Ultimate Workshop is going to allow you to immediately buy everything that you may need, but it's going to cost you. Because you can, for example, immediately build these things, provided you have a Lyrium course, without having done the required research, although I'm not actually sure you need research for some of these. No, actually these are the things that are done in the foundry, or the, what is that? I forgot the name of it, but it's the research center for your new tech. So not exactly the scientist center, but where your engineers work at new gear development. You can build the hazmat vest, the plated vest, and the stasis vest, and not just that. You can also decide if you need, for example, a superior autoloader, or if you want to have a superior scope for your sniper. Be advised though, you're paying heavily for these. A superior class object is going to cost you 150 supplies, and that's pretty significant. That will really start to chew into your supplies. Now, what I like about this mod is that it allows you the freedom of having to, or not having to, go through the random number generator, which is going to give you any kind of ammo or grenades, and just pick exactly what you need without having to rely on a specific random number generator hoping to get the right weapon or ammo. And then I think that almost concludes the lists. Yep, we have the numeric health display, which basically gives you numbers instead of a health bar. Does not really seem to work completely, as I also still have a long health bar. So I'm not exactly sure what that mod is interfering with. Quiet Bradford should keep Bradford pretty quiet. I'm not sure if it's actually working, because I have had Bradford speak up a couple of times on those terror missions. And of course, we all know what he's going to say, because we've all been here before. Full character customization from start means that you no longer have to be, I believe, a sergeant to start adjusting all of these stats from your personnel. True Retroactive Advanced Warfare Center will allow you to use all of the, or to use the Advanced Warfare Center on all of the units that have already fought, or that have already possibly passed their point of getting a new perk. So again, it's going to help me fight this war better. After action is going to show you the number of days that someone has been wounded, right there on the list. Makes it a bit easier. Normally just says gravely wounded, lightly wounded, etc. But now you know exactly how long they're going to be out of play for. We also get another type of alien. This is the Muton Centurion. Heavily armored. I have not actually encountered them yet, but they seem to be quite a threat. I'm not exactly sure what kind of perks they have other than War Cry, that supposedly grants bonuses to many of its alien allies. So they're basically Muton officers. Then, of course, the SMG pack, very handy for all of the units that you need to move faster. Evac All basically does the same as the Overwatch All or Overwatch Others mod, in the sense that if you have multiple people in an evac zone, you can just evac them in one go. The leader pack will allow you to select a leader for your squad. Now, you need to be a bit careful, because if you have a leader, that means that you're only going to have one leader per mission. So if you turn 3 of your favorite colonels into leaders, they are not going to be able to go on to the same mission. So again, it adds a couple of very nice and very powerful perks, but you're going to have to pick wisely. Upgrade Reminder is going to give you a couple of icons which show you that sometimes you may have upgrades for the weapons or upgrades for, I believe, their personal combat sims. And again, not always you want to spend these, but sometimes you may want to look at those weapons and see if you actually made the best choice there. Coming up to military camouflage and the accessories pack, again, mostly for the looks of people. Not really adding anything to the gameplay itself, just for looks. So, that concludes this, let's say, episode 0 for playthrough number 2. It's going to be a very, very difficult war. I have been playing with this mod. It has, or with all of these mods, it made the game a lot more challenging. Anyway, I'm going to start setting up. I have the list from the first playthrough of all the subscribers who then submitted their names. And I'm going to start adding those to the game so we can again see your created characters as soldiers in this playthrough. Hope you enjoyed. Hope you're looking forward to it as much as I am. And other than that, let's start working on episode 1. I'll see you soon for the next episode. Thank you for watching. Till the next time.